What do busy moms really want? And how can your brand help lighten their mental load? Today I'm chatting with Liz from Faye, a company that's reimagining how moms outsource life's endless to-dos. From finding summer camps and managing appointments to planning thoughtful gifts, Faye is like having a trusted personal assistant who actually gets it. Liz Hernandez is a marketing leader with deep experience scaling early stage startups into high growth businesses, and now heads marketing at Faye, a platform that helps families offload their mental load. With a deep empathy for the end user, Liz blends creativity and data driven decision making to build marketing programs that resonate and drive lasting impact. In this episode, you'll hear how Faye builds trust in such a personal space, the surprising mindset barriers that keep moms from asking for help and how Faye overcomes them, and smart, authentic ways to spark word of mouth and organic influencer partnerships without massive budgets. If you've ever wondered how to position your product as a true game changer for moms, or how to communicate your value in a way that feels empowering rather than guilt-inducing, this conversation is full of practical insights of what Faye is doing. Welcome to Marketing with Empathy, the podcast for brands that want to target and engage moms. Moms influence or control 85% of all household purchases and impact so many other industries, making them a very lucrative market to figure out. But many brands struggle to connect with moms through their content, which means they're missing out. Moms might be your only audience or one of several audiences that you're trying to reach. And if so, this is the right podcast for you. I'm your host, Sarah Panus, and I have more than 20 years of experience helping brands of all sizes, including Sleep Number, SheFit, Starbucks, LegalZoom, JHL Turf Pros, and more. So tune in here for ideas that'll get your products and services into the hands of more moms who need them, so your brand can effectively drive those all-important leads and sales. And thanks to your support, this podcast is in the top 5% of all podcasts and a proud member of the Marketing Podcast Network. So let's hear from today's sponsors and then jump right into a behind-the-scenes look at what Faye is doing to engage and attract busy moms. All right, Liz, when I first heard about Faye, I was like, this is amazing. It's a total game changer for busy moms, for busy parents. What does working with a Faye advisor actually look like? Give us some examples of things that moms can outsource.
Well, I love that you use the word game changer. We get that a lot from our clients too. And our sign up process is super easy. So you go to our site, you tell us a little bit about your family, what's going on in your household, what you need help with. And we'll then use our matchmaking magic, which I love to reference it as, and connect you to an advisor that we think is right for you. So we'll typically look at, do you have kids? Are there any special events that you're planning? And then we'll look at our database of advisors and see who would be the best fit.
And what I thought was interesting was when I think about mom outsourcing, a lot of it, because as a busy mom myself, and as I know when we market to busy moms, moms usually are pretty guilty of just doing more than we're capable of. We're really good at multitasking. We can do a lot of different things. And so we just pile things onto ourselves and we take it. Give me some more examples of things that people can outsource, because I think it helps expand the mind of like, oh, I never thought of that. And what I thought was interesting is it's not just even home life stuff. There's business things too, right? That you can help people with professionally.
Yeah, for sure. Our sweet spot is definitely home life. So we can help you solve some businessy tasks, but we're great at finding a plumber to come in and fix the leaking faucet. In the last week, we've found camps for your children. We've called to reschedule an appointment. So it's really a large breadth of things. I would say that our most popular categories are home services, travel, activities for children, and then finally anything else that feels like is unexpected. So we do get quite a few clients who are moving, who are in the middle of a big life transition, who are expecting a new child. And so we're able to adapt and figure out what tasks would be the best for them.
So you could have saved me hours of time searching for all my kids' camps this summer and my master spreadsheet of like when are times and when do I enroll and all that. You guys could have done something like that for me.
For sure.
Amazing. And with the holidays, could you outsource shopping? Could you guys do stuff like that for people? If you're like, hey, I need to get like these particular things or these are the holiday events and things, could you outsource that to someone at Faye?
For sure.
Okay.
Gifting is actually popular. I think people really want to give something thoughtful and meaningful, but don't have the time to necessarily buy the perfect thing. And so what ends up happening is you rush ship something from Amazon and then feel like you could have done better. And so what our advisors do, especially during the holidays, is they'll get a list of everyone on your gift list. They'll create this beautiful spreadsheet. They'll send you gift ideas. A few of them are actually collected via our community resource. So all of our advisors have access to this private forum where they can tap into other advisors' expertise and recommendations. So our gift ideas are like really truly vetted and special. And so I think that makes people feel really good about outsourcing something as personal as gifting.
There's a lot of trust involved with something like this of outsourcing to a personal assistant. And building trust with moms isn't always easy. What have you guys done to address that?
The number one thing that helps is hearing someone else who you identify with and relate to using a service and then learning about it from them. And so word of mouth is everything. And I'm sure you hear this a lot on your podcast, but anytime a mom is looking for a new stroller, they'll ask the group chat or they'll see what recommendations are being given on Instagram. And so we really took that observation and applied it for Faye. From the very beginning, we were speaking to moms constantly. We started small. We launched in a small city in Dallas, actually, and we launched with coffee chats, in-person focus groups. And so at every step, we were really talking to moms who were going through various things in their lives. Some were working, some were stay at home. And you have to remember we're a dual-sided marketplace too. So we're not only trying to find the mom to use our services, but we're also trying to find the advisor to sign up and work to help these families. And that's why it was so important for us to start spreading the word in a very hyper-localized, meaningful way. Over time, as we scaled, we found other advocates in the community. We found women on Instagram who we respected and admired and asked them to try our service and give us honest feedback. And if they felt comfortable with it, recommending it to their friends. We weren't pushy. The last thing we wanted was someone who didn't truly love us to talk about us. And we really want all of our marketing to feel authentic. And so connection and personal relationships were really at the heart of building trust with other parents.
And I feel like you guys have cracked that code on getting working moms to actually want to talk about Faye to others. Talk to us about some of the marketing tactics that have really clicked to help that word of mouth happen.
It's interesting you say that. Early days, there felt like there was such a resistance actually to admit that you were using Faye. We had a couple phone calls with prospective clients, and they're like, what if my friends find out that I'm getting someone to plan the birthday party? We do have to navigate, and this still happens to this day, a little bit of stigma around asking for help. And again, the way that we went about it is to find these advocates who can raise their hand and say, my life looks great and I can balance work, I can balance motherhood, I can balance a small business even, and it is all because of the outsourcing that I'm doing. We really wanted and found women who were very open about the resources they were pulling into their lives to help them handle the mental load. And what we hope happens, and we have started seeing this, is that you as an observer of these people that you trust and follow feel a little bit more comfortable saying, okay, there's these women who I respect and admire, and they're staying ahead by asking for help. Maybe I should too.
It's so interesting you talk about that stigma. And I think, guys, listening as your brand is thinking about this, it's just such a great mom mindset insight, actually, of the pressure moms put on themselves, good and bad. But I've heard this from other companies as well. So you're completely echoing what I've heard too, which is, oh, I don't want anyone to know. Because we want to act and others think that we're super moms and we can do it all. But the reality is, it's just like in a professional environment, you can't do everything. You have a team, you have different people with different skill sets. So why can't your personal life be like that too? So then everything can just be better. And then you have more time to spend on things that matter to you too, which is what I think is a huge benefit of Faye and what you guys are offering to these busy moms. I'm wondering if a lot of moms maybe think it would take more time to just delegate it than doing it themselves. Oh, it's just going to take too much time to explain to someone. It's just going to be easier for me to do it myself. I fall into that camp a lot of times. Confession. How do you get past that resistance? Or do you hear that ever from people? Or is that just me?
the way that we make people feel comfortable is talking about the quality and caliber of our advisors. About 70% of the advisors that we're bringing on are parents themselves. So they're actually already doing these tasks for their families and they enjoy the work, they know how to do it. So passing off something like planning a birthday party, they've actually done that already. And so it's not like when you hire someone at work and you have to train them up and there's new processes for them to learn. They're again already succeeding in doing this type of work for their family. So we're really proud that we have advisors who immediately get it. And sometimes I read customer testimonials and they'll say, I thought this was going to be really hard, but then I met my advisor, Lindsay, and she immediately understood how I like to work. So we really hire advisors who listen, who are great problem solvers, and who can tackle tasks with perhaps a little bit of ambiguity so they're not asking you a million questions when you ask them to do something.
That's key, right? Is how do we simplify a process for a mom so it doesn't feel overwhelming and it actually feels really easy? Kind of what is that first step generally?
Yeah. So the first step as a new client is filling out a form and telling us about your family.
Mhm.
Once we connect you to an advisor, you're working one-on-one with them. So you get their number, their email, you can text, email. Some of our clients even do weekly phone calls. And so if you are in a pinch, you can immediately text your advisor, hey, I realize that we actually don't even have hotels for this trip that we're taking next month. That open communication makes it really easy. There's no online portal where you have to submit a ticket and, wait. It feels more immediate to people.
Yeah. And I would say Faye's in this new category because hiring a personal assistant isn't something that moms are used to doing. I think in the business world, maybe you think of it, or as business owners, obviously, are used to doing stuff like that. But it's not like selling shoes or meal kits that people already get and understand. Could you share what's working to help moms get it? What have people been best reacting to?
I would say two things are working. One is sharing a lot of task examples. We have a very active social media account, which one of our advisors and also mom helps run, where we share real examples of tasks you could hand off to your advisor. So when someone finds out about us, they can go to our profile and read the various things that we've helped with. And at least a couple of those tasks will feel relatable to them. And so I think it helps dimensionalize the kind of help that we're offering. Then I think the second thing has been leaning more into video, member profiles, showing real stories of busy moms who've integrated Faye into their lives. We do a couple of these features every month also on Instagram where we show, hey, this is a real Faye member and here's the ways that they're leveraging their family advisor so that you, either as a current client or a prospective client, can continue learning about the different tasks that you could hand off to your advisor.
Makes complete sense because especially with a new category, but really in anything, the more we can clarify and simplify what it is and the problems it solves for people, the more likely they are to say yes and kind of picture themselves in that scenario. Thank you for sharing those examples. For all the marketers listening, what is one simple but maybe powerful way that marketers can connect more authentically with moms, especially those that are balancing work and family, since that's the bread and butter of who you guys serve?
For sure. I think one thing to keep in mind is that moms aren't a monolith. Like a lot of times we say we're going to market to moms, but I would think about defining who your product or service is for more narrowly and then going out and speaking with those people so you truly understand the challenges they're balancing. So in our case, we say Faye is perfect for moms, but the reality is we are servicing moms who are just about to be moms and moms who have a couple kids and moms who have older children and aging parents. And the task examples we show them, the way that we speak to them is a bit different, recognizing that we're trying to meet them where they are. And so I would encourage all marketers to not just say, we're going to market to moms, but be more specific. Say, this is perfect for a mom who's about to have a family because XYZ. And I think that will also help you figure out what your best channels are. My second tip is figure out the channel that's best for your audience. So because we're not this flashy, pretty product, we have been leaning more into podcasts and doing customer testimonials via audio because we think that Faye shines when we have more time to talk about ways in which you can use us and explain the service. And so I would encourage marketers to think about where will your product shine the best and go with that.
And that makes sense too because you are newer in your category, like this new kind of concept. So you probably need a little bit more time sometimes to explain it and to show these examples. So thinking about formats of where you have a little bit more time to get into that makes sense completely. I'm curious, when you're getting feedback from your customers, how do you collect that feedback?
We do it in a few ways. Many of our advisors actually have a check in during the first couple weeks of servicing the client where they'll ask, what am I doing well? What could have been better? Are there things that you think I should know about how your family works? Just to make sure that the client has time to openly give feedback on the first couple of things that the advisor has solved. So
Mhm.
that's one way. The second way is through more surveying that is sent through email. So we'll ask a client, how's it going? Would you recommend Faye to a friend? Is there any other feedback that you'd us to know about? And our clients are very generous with their feedback. They know we're a new company. They almost have a vested interest in making this work well for themselves and also their friends. And so they often say, oh, I used this other service in the past, and I think this is like where you guys are better. And all of that is such rich information that we take back to our product team to try and make our platform better.
Excellent. I thought of another question too I wanted to follow up on from what we were talking about earlier. When I was mentioning about kind of those marketing tactics that you use to get people and moms to actually want to talk about you, what I think is really beautiful from like a pure word of mouth perspective is that you work with a lot of influencer partnerships, but without being paid, right? So you actually have some organic influencer partnerships because they're so happy with what you're offering and doing that they're actually talking about it, which, you know, influencer marketing has expanded so much through the years where it started all organic and then a big chunk was paid and then it's a blend of the 2 for sure now, but I actually find it rare for brands to have a lot of unpaid partnerships as a whole. Can you talk about your influencer program and how that works? And correct anything I said that maybe was wrong that I just said?
Yeah, for sure. I've worked for a bigger brand in the past and we have had to pay for content. I
Yeah.
think we typically try to find an influencer who's already talking about how hard it is to navigate the mental load as a mom. So I think there's like a shared interest in helping solve this. And so I think that's one way where that's worked, is finding women who are advocating for change as well. And then the second thing is it often takes a bunch of tries. It is not as fast as having a huge budget. You have to be scrappy. I'll give you an exact example. There's this woman, Catherine Brown, the Cabro. I don't know if you follow her, but she's awesome. She's a tech
Mhm.
mom based out of Seattle.
Okay.
And from the moment I joined Faye and started diving into this world of motherhood on Instagram, I thought she was the perfect muse for us. She often shares what things she does to help her home run more smoothly. And it took like 3 tries to get her to try us out, but we messaged her. She was going to a conference. We sent her restaurants and activities to check out. And so we provided value and kept on fostering this relationship so that when she was ultimately ready to talk to us, she already had some context of ways that we could help. And I think that's what has been really successful for us, is finding these true advocates and not having it be a very promotional partnership. I think they have to have true interest in helping moms find valuable resources. Obviously, that gets harder as you become bigger. You stop being able to position yourself as a scrappy business. But I think to date, we've been really lucky in finding folks who want us to succeed.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is being a female founded company. Our CEO, Emily King, has done a great job of meeting other female founders and also figuring out how to help them out. And I think that has led to a lot of connections that have been able to help us spread the word.
Yeah, and so then in a way, you're wooing them with the service and what the service can provide, like the problem it can help solve. And so I guess technically you're paying them with like free services essentially, right? Because it's the benefit of those free services initially to woo them in. So there is an exchange. There's a value exchange there. It just isn't monetary, which I bring up because I've come from big brand background as well as you mentioned, and Influencer marketing can be a huge budget line item that I'm sure everyone listening right now would love to not have to spend as much, but to get that equal value. And that's the balance, right? Because it has to be beneficial and valuable for the influencer. And I think the influencer world has been morphing so much too, of people really kind of going back to, I think, how it originally started, where it was really true, just people, not just necessarily celebrities and things like that, but it was just like true people and what they were using. And there's that trust in that, which I think is beautiful how you're building it, because this is a very personal business that you have of people that are stepping into someone's personal life, these busy moms, and helping check things off their to-do list so they can save some brain power and focus it on all the other things that mom is going to do. So thank you for explaining that. As we wrap up here, tell us about all the ways people can connect with you online. And guys, Liz has an exclusive offer. If you're listening and you're like, I need Faye in my life, we have an exclusive discount for you to check it out. So tell us all the ways to connect with you and about that special discount, Liz.
You can head to our site, findfaye.com, to learn more about our services and see if this could be a fit for your family. We're also quite active on Instagram at tryfaye. And finally, if you're ready to give us a whirl, you can use the code empathy50 for $50 off your first month.
Woohoo! We love exclusive discounts here. Thank you so much. So guys, if you're listening, or other busy moms on your team, in your company, with others, feel free to share that empathy50 code. I'll make sure I put all those links as well into the show notes here, folks. So if you're buzzing around and can't write them down right now, no worries. Just click on the podcast description here later, and you can see all the links to all the things to find Faye. If anyone is interested and wants to connect with a fellow marketing leader or has follow-up questions about Faye or potential partnership opportunities, what's the best way to reach you?
You can email me at liz@findfaye.com, and I'd love to connect with anyone looking to learn more.
All right, friends, as we recap, I like how Liz pulled the curtain back for us, not only how Faye operates, but why normalizing asking for help is such a powerful mindset shift for moms and a huge opportunity for brands. If you want to learn more or give Faye a try yourself or share it with a mom, just head to findfaye.com. That's FAYE, or check out the links in today's shows. And don't forget, Liz generously shared an exclusive discount. Use the code empathy50 for $50 off your first month. And if this episode sparked ideas or resonated with you, please share it with a fellow marketer or leader who wants to serve moms in a more thoughtful way. Until next week, God bless.